sober judgment is a form of self-mastery. It's self-control. It's the foundation of good, godly life that produces fruit. So, it can mean a lot of things. It means, serious, sane, sound-minded, discreet, self-disciplined, prudent, and modest. I don't think in the last video, just kind of the introduction, that I even, really fully went into the verse that talks about it, but it says, "For I say, through the grace given to me, to everyone who is among you, do not think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, as God has dealt to each one a measure of faith." So that's Romans 12:3. That sober judgment ties in a lot with humility. You can't master yourself until that you take hold of what it means to be humble. Because, the prideful man, he refuses to look in the mirror. He looks into the mirror and he says it's somebody else's fault or somebody else is the problem. But in reality, if he would just examine himself closely, he would see all the things that he's doing, or character traits or actions that have, led to the place that he is. Being able to truly examine yourself and see your faults is the first step. I mean, look in AA, for instance. One of the first things you have to realize that, hey, I've got a problem. In Alcoholics Anonymous, it's, hey, I'm an alcoholic. If we apply that to other parts of our life, like, hey, I'm a hothead. I go off on people. Lazy, I'm judgmental, I'm all these other things. You could go down the list. I mean, whatever it is for you, we all have our different strengths and our different weaknesses. Really, we have to take that mirror and put it before us and examine ourselves and not be afraid of the results. Ego is one of those things that you get angry whenever something is close to home. When something rings true, we tend to get a lot more angry than if somebody's way off base. Whenever that element of truth comes in, that's what makes us angry. And we have to ask ourselves, why is it that we're getting angry over something if it's true? And I think the answer to that question is because that it hurts our self-image, or it hurts our idea of ourselves, because we tend to try and think that we are good people. We try to think that we are, always have the best intentions, that our ideas are always right, that the other person just doesn't understand, or we're on a higher level, or we're smarter than them, we're more motivated, we're whatever. You can go down the list. It seems that, this is what goes on, and then in that we get offended that others don't see things our way. We get offended whenever there's that friction, and I think what makes us even more angry when it comes to when it actually is true is exactly that it has the power of truth behind it, and you can't fight truth. Facts are facts. If you want to change in your life, if we want to change, I want to change and stuff, I have to be willing to look in the mirror and say, all right, well, here's what's being said, and here is what I see in the mirror. Do they match? I'm not even focusing on the outward right now and stuff, because we can do this in life too. We say, hey, this is the claim, this is what is actually seen and stuff, observed. But for today, I just want to talk about inwardly. So we take what we see, and we take what we see in the mirror, and we are here, and we put them together, and do they match? Maybe they only match a little bit, but hey, we can learn from that. We can say, you know what? I see this. This part right here, it matches. This part right here is right on, and I need to do something about it. Instead of just turning a blind eye. And I think so many times we make excuses for ourselves. We say, oh, I'm justified. Well, you don't know the full story. You don't know, we like to justify ourselves because we can't handle the pain of really truly facing ourselves. And I think that's part of the built in nature that we realize. And I understand there are those out there that may disagree and stuff, but from what I've seen and what I understand, and also with my own personal faith, there are objective things that are good and bad. And in my faith, I believe that that comes from God. And I think that deep down in our soul, in our mind, in the back of our mind, no matter how much we try to rationalize it, do away with it and stuff, we know that at our heart's core, we are evil. All of us. We are bad people, and we know that, and we hate to be faced with that. We hate to be faced with the reality. It's so taboo. That's why you see people on Instagram. That's why you see people on Facebook, and not just on social media and stuff. That's the easiest to see, but even in daily life, where they try to put up this facade of who they are, but really on the inside, they're somebody totally different, because they feel like they have to act. If they show themselves for who they are, and maybe they will be ostracized. I mean, I think actually, if all of us were really, we would have two choices: to be a horrible person, or to change and become a better person if what was on the inside came out on the outside. So a lot of times we try to build this image up of ourselves of being this great person, this smart person, this strong person, this whatever, whatever the image is that you feel that you need to create. But in reality, it's just a facade. It's just, it's a game, it's acting, it's whatever you want to call it. It's that ego. And it all boils back down to what I've been talking about not wanting to look in the mirror. So getting back to that, we have to be able to truly examine ourselves if we want to master ourselves. And some of it, this is where, in my belief, I believe we have to rely on God for that. We can't do it on ourselves. If, it's like the blind leading the blind. We think we know everything. We think we know the right way, but look at where we're at. Look at where our heart is. Look at where emotions are. Look at how our life is. I mean, even look at, we have famous people who have everything, who are seemingly have everything, but yet they still kill themselves. They're still unhappy. That's why I say that really it has to come from outside source, and that can't come from others in relationships or whatever. Sometimes people try to fill that hole with that. Most importantly, we have to get that from God. You may disagree with me on that, and that's okay. Comment below. We'll talk about it. But at the same time, this is my perspective. This is what I've seen to be true most often. I'd like to get into it more. Like I said, slowly this channel is going to build up. I'm going to start getting better at video editing. I'm going to get more comfortable in front of the camera. Let's start the conversation. If you want to talk about things, just bring it up in the comments. If you want to donate. Please at least like and subscribe, even if you don't agree with what I'm saying. And really, I'm looking for your interaction. I'm looking for your input and everything. Like, I don't know everything, just like everything I just talked about. I don't know everything. And so that's why I'm putting myself out there. I'm talking about it, and I'd love to hear your comments on it as well. And then we can go from there and start the conversation anyway. So like and subscribe, and have a great day.